Welcome to today's video tutorial. In today's tutorial, we're going to be creating a scribble effect similar to the one that we see on the screen in front of us. So let's get into it. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete my top layers like this. You now have the start image, which is available for download in the description box below. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click up here, my move tool. Then I'm going to right click up here and I'm going to reset all tools and I'm going to hit OK. Then I'm going to come to Window, Workspace, and then I'm going to go Reset Essentials. This makes your computer the exact same as my computer, and it makes it easier for following on. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to my start layer and I'm going to Command and J to duplicate the layer. I don't like this as it is because the model is too small in the scene. So I'm going to Command and T to transform it bigger. I'm going to Command and minus to zoom out a bit. And I'm going to hold down my Option button and grab one of the corners and just zoom up like this. Then I'm going to move it around until the model is more front and center in the screen like this. Once I'm happy with that, I'm going to tick or press enter to apply my transform. To zoom back in, it's Command and 0. Like that. Command 0. And now I see the model in full screen like this. I'm going to click to my top layer, and then over here I'm going to select an adjustment layer, which is a gradient adjustment layer over here. Then I'm going to select something which takes my fancy. You can choose any color that you like. I'm going to go for this one here, this gray color, and I'm going to hit OK. Then in the layer mask, I'm going to click into my layer mask over here. I'm going to hit B for brush. I'm going to make sure that my foreground color is black here. And then I'm going to start doing random scribbles around in the image. I'm going to play this in fast forward so you don't need to watch me scribbling away. Okay, I'm fairly happy with that at the moment. So what you can do to make some variation on this is you can double click to go into the layer style here, and you can of course choose any different color layer style that you can choose any different color that you want. I'm going to hit OK. Now you can of course choose custom colors. If you don't like any of the colors that are working for you, you can double click in this area over here, and then you can click down here, this bottom color here, and this gives us the pipette. And I'm going to go into the scene here and I'm going to try and pick up some of the color from the lips here. I kind of like that. And then I'm going to get my other color, and I'm going to choose quite an opposing color like this, and that looks kind of cool. You can of course move these sliders to change how this affects in the scene, and just play around with that until you find something that you're comfortable with, and hit OK and hit OK. Now you could quite legitimately end there, but there are a couple of variations that you could try if you like. The first one is you can double click into the gradient style and you can choose stroke. Now at the moment my stroke is size 10, but if we reduce that down to stroke 1 and we change the color of the stroke to whatever you want really, or you can go into the scene and get a color from the I've got one of the grays here, and then you just nudge this stroke up, and what it does is it thickens the layer and adds an extra dimension to it. So you can play with that until you can find something that you like. So that's stroke, that's one option. I'm going to take my stroke off. The other one I can try is bevel and emboss. And what this does is bevel and emboss, you can, when you click in here and change the size, it gives you a sort of shadow effect, which you can play with, and sometimes that can be very cool, and you can experiment with that as much as you want. I'm going to hit OK. The last thing you can do is click to your layer below. Now you need to come up and select your move tool here. I would suggest you take the auto select off, otherwise when we click in here it's just going to move up to your top layer. So I'm going to take auto select off. I'm going to ensure that I'm on my lower layer, and I can move my lower layer around in here until I find a place which I'm happy with. So there you have it. That is how you create a scribble effect using Adobe Photoshop. Here ends today's video tutorial.